Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, yesterday we learned some basic things about routing, how the routing works. So, how to create route, how to implement navigation. One small example we learned. Now, we will try to create a complete end-to-end application. So, by using as I told you, MERN stack, we will use MERN stack. So what we will do is, so we need to understand how the combination works. So we are going to build one single page application. We are going to build a single page application a simple single page application. So this single page application, we will create one some video tutorials. We'll create some video tutorial. Video tutorial. So what is the concept here is, so user must able to access the videos and he can watch different categories of videos that we keep in our library, right? So those videos are accessible only to users who log in. That means user, in order to log in, first he need to register. This is a sample application we are going to build. In this application, this video tutorial is nothing but, so it is an online tutorial related to various software technologies, which user can filter and view, That is the concept. So it is an online into library. So into video library, uploaded by admin into video library. So user can watch videos after registering an account. That is the point. So videos are uploaded by admin. Roles, I will tell you here. What are the roles we will see? Actually, it is an online tutorial so that user can watch the videos. Here we will give the modules here. In this project, what are the modules we are going to build? The project modules, in this project, we are having a module. This is a admin module. What is the responsibility of admin module? Admin actually, this admin can log in, and admin can manage users. He can manage users. Managing users means add or update or remove the details of users. He can add new user. He can update user details. He can remove users. All this admin can do. Not only that, so admin can manage videos. Admin can manage videos. Videos, that means he can add video, he can update video, and he can remove video. That means all the CRUD operations he can manage. Usually admin can add categories and manage categories. Adding and managing categories admin can do. That is actually part of updating videos and all. That means videos belong to different categories. Suppose we are designing some software tutorials, then JavaScript videos, Angular videos, React videos, category wise. Admin can add one category. Admin can manage the categories. Managing categories, suppose a video belong to specific category. He can assign a category to video. He can change the category for video. By mistake, one video is uploaded into some another wrong category, then admin can manage. He can change the categories for videos. So these are the roles of admin. So admin can handle this. And user can view videos. So user can filter videos, and user can like videos. So this is the user activities he can do. So like or unlike, or he can even comment on videos like that. So user can register, he can log in. After that, he can watch the videos. He must able to filter the videos. He can like the videos and he can comment on the videos. Right. These are the details, right? Now, generally, two modules are there, admin and user. Another module, this is videos module. In videos module, what happens is, in videos module, so video details are configured. So video is updated. Video is updated or removed by admin. So, and here one more thing, videos module is, so details are configured, video is updated or removed by admin. Another, what else we can define this for this video is actually videos are added using YouTube embed link. Videos are added using YouTube embed link. That means we are not uploading MP4 file or MP3 file something. So they are added by using YouTube embedded links. Anybody does in the same way, right? Because we don't recommend to upload a video file, right? So that generally people, what they do, they upload all the videos into YouTube like channels. From there, they can get embedded links and they can keep them, right? We will see. So these are the three basic modules we can have. So one admin and users, another one we will design a basic structure. Means navigation front end we will build later. Front end we will design later. We will create the front end screen after we are ready with back end, right? First, what we have to do for these modules, we need to maintain data. We need to maintain data for these modules. Admin module, users module, and another one is videos. For this, we need to maintain some data. So how we can manage data? Actually, currently in our application, we are managing data using MongoDB. We will manage data using MongoDB. So MongoDB is the database. In the database, we will maintain all the data required for project. How the front end looks like, we will plan after the data and everything is ready. So here MongoDB is the database. First, let me give you the software requirements. What are the software requirements for this? We are using MongoDB. MongoDB, this is for database. MongoDB for database. And we are using Node.js for server side and Express.js. This is middleware. And ReactJS, this is front end. So front end SPA for building the front end single page application. So these are the requirements. We will create database and we will write the logic to communicate with the database using Node.js and Express. And we will use ReactJS as front end for presentation. Usually, what is the primary architecture here is, generally, you know, web application architecture. How the web application architecture looks like. For example, the basic web application architecture So this is the web application basic architecture. Every web application, it's the basic architecture. Now, generally, you will have data centers in the backend. In the data center, data is stored in databases. Like so, these data centers contains all the data that is required for your project. Data is maintained in database softwares. Actually, I given the Dublin, Ireland, like because majority all major companies data centers are present in Dublin, Ireland. Microsoft, Facebook, Google, everybody's data centers are kept in Dublin, Ireland. They are present there because geographically that is the best area for servers. So 20 means 365 days, 24 hours, same temperature is maintained. That is from the front end. We need help of any application center, means application in the back end. That application can be designed in Java, .NET, PHP, Python, or Node.js. What this server side application will do? It's converted in XML, JSON format. The data we consume and we present in the front end. For that, we create interactions. For that, we create the user interface using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Angular, React, and all. Actually, we are having one application client side. We are having another application server side. This concept is called distributed computing. I think I explained distributed computing. Huh? No. Generally, these all type of applications are distributed. That means actually we are using which architecture. So we are going to use architecture. We are going to use the architecture. This is we are going to use in this project distributed computing architecture. The architecture we are going to use in this project is distributed computing. That is the basic architecture we are going to use. Actually, what is distributed computing architecture? What is the concept of distributed computing? Distributed computing is nothing but, let me explain you about this distributed computing. Generally, I hope you people know in computer programming, there are different means computer architectures. There are different computer architectures. We have like various computing architectures. So will be like, let's say APIs, web API, yeah. This is, generally, these are various computing architectures. We have distributed computing, parallel computing, cluster computing, grid computing, cloud computing. These are different types of architectures. So you may be working in any of these, right? You may be working on in these architectures actually. What is distributed computing? What is meant by distributed computing? So distributed computing is nothing but actually, so distributed computing allows two different applications running on two different devices to share information. Distributed computing allows two different applications running on two different devices to share information. So two applications running on two different devices or machines, they can share information. Actually, for example, suppose in your general uses, suppose you are having, this is an server. Usually server side, we have some Netflix like page. We are having some Netflix like app. This is an Netflix app. Now client wants to watch Netflix. So how he can watch? So there are two methods. He can watch on his machine from a browser. From a browser, he can access this Netflix app and he can watch. This is web application. Web application. Instead of that, in his computer, he can have a Netflix app. Instead of browser, he can have an app. This app can communicate with this app. And this type of applications are called distributed applications. They are distributed applications. That means if I ask you, tell me some mobile apps that you have in your mobile. So if you say Flipkart, Amazon, Swiggy, Zomato, WhatsApp, all these are not mobile apps. They are not mobile apps. They are distributed apps. Distributed apps. They are not mobile apps. Mobile apps means what? Camera, calculator, calendar, phone book, gallery. These comes under mobile app. Or some games, some apps that you installed in mobile. Without any internet connection, you can use them, you can work with them, then they are mobile apps. If anybody is asking like I need internet connection, that is not a mobile app, that is an distributed. That is an distributed app. So distributed app means two applications running on two different machines can share information between them. This is client will send information to server, server will send information to client. This is called distributed computing. So not only that, there is another point also. So it allows two different applications running on same device in two different process to share information. That is also distributed computing. So distributed computing allows two different applications running on same device, running on same device in two different process to share information. That means we have two different applications running in two different devices sharing, or two different applications running in same application, same device can share information. For example, you see you are making some money transaction. Suppose bank have sent bank app, you are using a bank app. That bank app sends an OTP. OTP comes to your SMS app. Now bank app can read the SMS and it can fill the OTP. That means autofill, it can fill it. That means your bank app is communicating with an SMS app, and SMS app is sharing its information with bank. On one device, two applications are sharing information. Actually, this kind of things may not be secured every time. That's the reason I don't know in Android you have, because in iOS, when you install app, first it will ask, do you want this app to share information with others? We can disallow that, right? We can disallow. That means we don't want our app to share information with other apps. Security issues may come. So in iOS it is there. I am not sure about Android, is it there? So that means the point is your apps are sharing information with others. That is the reason you might have observed you watched something on Amazon in your mobile and you close it and you go to YouTube and Facebook. Suddenly you will find advertisements for that. In YouTube, you will find advertisements about the product that you searched on Amazon. How come? That means it is sharing information, right? That is not safe every time, but that is distributed computing. Distributed computing is allowing two applications in two machines to share information, or two applications on same machine to share information. This is called distributed computing. So we are going to build an app like this. That means client side, we will have React app. Server side, we will have Node.js app. This Node.js app communicates with the front-end React app. So React requests from Node.js, Node.js will send response to React app. That's what the communication we are going to manage. Actually, generally, there are various distributed computing technologies. There are various distributed computing technologies. There are so many distributed computing technologies used by different languages. Different languages use different computing technologies. Like we have Corba. Corba is Common Object Request Broken Architecture. We have like DCOM, that is a distribute component object model. We have like RMI. RMI is remote method invocation. We have like EJB, which is enterprise Java beans. We have like web services, and we have like remoting. These all are distributed. These are different distributed computing architectures. So we have Corba, we have DCOM, we have RMI, we have EJB, we have web services, we have remoting. Actually, different technologies use different. Corba is used in more than 14 languages, including C++ and all. DCOM is used by Visual Basic, a language called Visual Basic. RMI is used by Java applications. EJB is used by J2EE applications. Web service is known to all technology. Java, .NET, PHP, Python, everybody knows web service. It is used by everyone. Universally, everyone uses web service. Remoting is for .NET. This is used by all the technologies, all languages, technologies can use. Remoting belongs to .NET. It is .NET's distributed architecture. So there are various distributed computing technologies. We have like Corba, DCOM, RMI, EJB, web services, remoting, and all this. Right. So now the point is here, you can see these are all different distributed computing technologies. These are all distributed computing technologies. We have Corba, which is a common object request broken architecture. It is used in almost 14 languages, invented by OMG Group. And this is DCOM, Distribute Component Object Model. It is used in Microsoft languages like VB, Visual Basic. We have RMI. It is used in J2EE. So you have EJB, Enterprise Java Beans. We have web service known to all technologies. Java, .NET, PHP, everybody knows web service. And we have remoting. It is used in .NET like technologies. These are all distributed computing architectures. So different technologies use different computing, right? Actually, all technologies can understand web service, right? Everything is provided like a web service actually. This is very popularly used everywhere. Web services are used everywhere. But now the point is, we call it as web service specification. That means how they communicate, how a server-side application communicates with client-side application. That means we are going to build this now. How a client-side application communicates with server-side application. How it communicates, actually, there are three specifications. We have SOAP, we have REST, and we have JSON. There are three specifications: SOAP, REST, and JSON. Actually, SOAP is generally service-oriented architecture protocol. Service-oriented architecture protocol. What happens in SOAP is, actually, client sends an XML request. Client sends an XML request. So actually, client is called as consumer. Consumer will send an XML request. And server sends an XML response. This is called provider. We have a consumer and a provider. Consumer will ask XML request. That means the request from client, it will go in XML format. The response also comes in XML. This is called SOAP, service-oriented architecture. In the beginning, we used to use like that, but now we are not using this very much. So that means now we are not following this SOAP architecture. In the beginning of services, we used to follow this very much, SOAP. After this SOAP, we have another mechanism, that is REST. Actually, REST is representational state transfer. REST is representational state transfer. What is REST is, in REST, people call them as RESTful services. They call as RESTful services. What is REST? what is the concept of REST is? In REST, client sends an query request. Client sends an query request. A simple query request. And what server will do is server sends an XML response. It sends an XML response. And explicitly JSON response. Explicitly means not internally. By using various techniques, we have to send the response as JSON instead of XML. By default, response will be in XML. But request will be a simple query request. That means, for example, I will tell you here actually. Generally, suppose if user have to send a SOAP request, that means I want in products, I want a product whose category is electronics. Then usually products in that product, you have category. So we have category electronics. Like this, we will put. This is one product, and in that we have products. This is an XML request. That means the request from client will be in this way. And the response also comes in XML way. But in REST, what happens? The request is a simple query. Simple query request means it will have question mark. Then category is equal to what? Electronics. That's it. The request will be a simple query. The response will be in an XML form. That is the nature actually. So how SOAP and REST works, right? So now usually you have another one, JSON. JSON is JavaScript object notation. In JSON, what happened is client sends JSON request and server sends JSON response. That's what actually JSON is. The request and response will be in the format of JSON. These days, people are following this very much. All modern web applications, they prefer using this. But still, majority of your projects are using RESTful. That means you make a simple query. It will send data in XML or JSON. These days, majority of people are migrating from that REST to JSON. That's the reason you will see, actually few years back, I showed you NASA API, fake store API like that. Any API, if you request the data, few years back, it should be in XML. It used to be in XML. The response will come in XML form. Even today, so many APIs are there. They don't send JSON. They send XML. Like for example, let's say Google here. So weather API, XML. You can see this is an weather API. So it is an API. I think this is an paid service. It is showing some. Just I will show you the data here. XML parameters. Usually it will be like this. Data comes in this way. There are two formats currently, either XML or JSON. Right? Usually the data comes in this way. So if it is an XML, the data is in this way. Now majority we are not using this. Majority what we are doing what we are doing is we are using JSON. This is the way. And all you have seen that. right? We used fake store, we used NASA API, everything was coming in this format. So now APIs can provide in both XML as well as JSON. The modern is using this one, right? These are general different types of APIs you have actually. So the communication happens in this way. The SOAP, the REST, another one JSON. So let's see how to create this now. That means we are going to build an application, and this application will be a distributed application. Distributed application means client side. You will have server side Node.js app. Server side we have Node.js app. Client side we have a React app. And of course, if you can use React native like frameworks, you can build a mobile app. But for that, additionally, you need Android, iOS also to build mobile apps, right? That means mobile distributed apps, right? Otherwise, it will be on desktop or it will be on web-based, so distributed application. So this is all about the architecture we are going to use. Actually, here some people are confused about architecture because in companies, this is distributed. In companies, sometimes they will ask some points like, so what is 3-layer architecture? 3-layer architecture and 3-tier architecture. What is 3-layer architecture and 3-tier architecture? That is what generally one question is asked regularly. What is 3-layer architecture and 3-tier architecture? So generally, if anybody says, I am experienced, then we have some questions to test the genuinity of experience. Like if he can tell, that means because some people try to put some fake experience and go. First question we ask in interviews is like, what is the architecture of this project? You mentioned 2 projects. Which architecture it is following? There itself, many people fail because in their resume, they narrate about I done this project, my role is this, my responsibility is this, that, so many. But people fail in understanding the architecture of that until or unless he genuinely worked on it, right? So that means this is a very popular question. This can tell how much real experience he is having in building applications. So what is difference between 3-layer and 3-tier? This is very popular for experienced people. Difference between layer and tier. What is layer? What is tier? Any idea? What is a 3-tier application? What is a 3-layer application? What is layer? What is tier? Difference between layers and tiers in software architecture. So actually, the difference between tier and layer is generally, for example, I hope you know we have 1-tier applications. 1-tier application. 1-tier application means what? 1-tier application, 2-tier application, 3-tier application. Actually, earlier we used to have entire, but now entire is 3-tier in. So because the modern generation is used 3-tier very much. What is 1-tier application means? It is nothing but you will have one device. And what happens is application is installed on this device. Application is installed on that device. And we use application on the same device. Everything related to the application is present on same device. Everything related to this app, whatever data it needs, everything is present in the same device. This is one tier. One tier means all the application related data is in the same machine where he is using that application. Everything. So these are one tier applications. Usually we have two tier application. Two tier application means application is present in one machine, its data is in another machine. Its data is in another machine. That means data is present here. We are accessing data from here and using it. Even you remove your app, this data is still available. That means again, when you install an app, that data can be provided to that. That means we are having two. That means we are having data in one application, one machine. Two tier this is. What is three tier? Three tier is nothing but usually data is in one machine, app is in one machine, you are using in another machine. You are using from another machine. So app is not present where you are using it. It is coming from backend application server. And data for that application is not in that machine. It is coming from database. So every internet web application is a three-tier application. Every internet web applications are three-tier. They are three-tier applications. That means the application is not present where you are watching it. It is coming from another location. And its data is not where that application is. Data is in some another. That means now in how many places the application is running? 3 places it is running. So usually what is meant by tier? Tier is nothing but tier architecture. Architecture refers tier architecture refers the environment where application is running. The environment where application is running. Tier architecture refers the environment where application is running. So that means suppose you say three tier. Three tier means you have a database tier and you have an application tier and we have a presentation tier. We have database, application and presentation. That means data is in database tier, application is in application tier and user is using in the presentation. User is watching and accessing from the presentation tier. This is called three-tier application. How this three-tier application is built? How this three-tier application is built? That means you are building a three-tier application. Remember, so we need database. So we need business logic, and we need UI. That means in database, the data is stored. In the UI, we are designing user interface. And in business logic, we are writing the logic to communicate between database and UI. That means actually software developers build application in 3 layers. Application is built in layers. Application will run in tiers. We build application in 3 layers. In one layer, we create the screens. In another layer, we will design the database. In another layer, we write the business logic. That means application is built in 3 layers. Database layer, presentation layer, which is UI layer, another one business layer. In database layer, we design database. In business layer, we write the logic to communicate between database and user. And in UI layer, we build the front end screens, right? That means layers are about, layer architecture is about, layer architecture. Layer architecture refers the environment where application is built, not running, where application is built. And we have three layers. What are those three layers? We have a UI layer, and you have a business layer, and you have a database layer. So what is difference between layers and tiers? Both are not same. First, application is built in three layers. So after building application, you prepared database. In database layer, you prepared the database. Where this database is kept? Database is kept in database server. That is in one tier. You built business logic, where you will keep the business logic in application tier. You built the UI, where it will be working in the presentation tier. That means application is built in layers and application is running in tiers. That means by seeing the resume itself, you can easily understand, is it fake resume or is it genuine? Just by reading the specifications. Why? Because how he mentioned about his project, what he mentioned about his project, that tells clearly the genuinity of the candidate. That's what very important is. That means, do you know how people have to mention about project if they are experienced? Actually, suppose you are having 3 years of experience. If you are having 3 years of experience and you will say that, so you worked on 2 projects. Suppose you worked on 2 projects. In this 3 years experience, you worked on 2 projects. And that depends, because if you are mentioning like an MNC, like in 2 years, in 3 years, you can't work on 2 projects. It's not possible, right? So you mentioned that I worked on 2 projects. Okay. Then generally how we write? My project A, first project. First, how you mention? We will mention that it is a 3-tier application. We say that my project A, it is a 3-tier application. And my role was in UI layer, right? That means if it is a 3-tier application, how come your role is in layer? Because you are the person not involved in running the application. You are the person involved in building the application. That means, for example, you said that I done this project. We will throw that resume in dustbin. What you are talking about? You done the project? That means you are the one person responsible for building entire project. Right? That is why people come and complain that calls are not coming. Market is not good. Market? What market? You are not good for market. That means you see, so every company have a lot of requirements. Only the problem is genuine, real, high level experience people are not there. They are not there. That means companies still hiring so many people, especially. Means regularly people come to me. That means our previous students and everybody, they mail us, sir, any React person is there, recommend. Any person is there, we have vacancy in our company. And if you ask them, come and conduct drive, then they say this, no sir, you pick one, a good one and send us. They are not interested because they know that they have to undergo a lot of filtering process, fake, all this nonsense. They simply want a genuine fresher. They simply want a genuine experience. That means every day people call me. Every day my old students send me mails saying that in our company, these are the opportunities. But we cannot simply recommend everybody simply like that. We lose our credibility, right? If we send everybody simply go. The point here is, so the problem with that concept is why you don't get so many calls, because first of all, your resume is not satisfying. It is miscommunicating. And technical people are easily aware of that. They can easily catch that. For example, what I said here, suppose, so my role is in UI layer. Why? Because in a medium and large scale project, you don't have a chance to work with entire project. You will be in only one layer, either in business layer or in UI layer or in database. If it is a small scale application, you will get a chance to work in two layers, like UI layer and business layer. If you are expert in database, then you are kept in database layer. Small scale, very small scale projects, you are building an application for a school, college, or some shop, then all layers you are responsible. But at mediums, large scale, no chance. You will be working in only one or two layers. And the interviewer also will not waste his time. He will ask questions accordingly. He will see that your project is UI layer. First project is on UI layer. Then why we will ask questions on business and database? He will simply ask, okay, in UI, what components you have used? What libraries you have used? Why you have used? How you handled it? These are the questions. Many people ask like, sir, will you send experience interview questions and answers? What do you think? It is a question bank. I will send you 10 questions. You prepare and go and crack interview. Right? No, experienced people interviews first never happens on the concept. That first half an hour interview will be on your resume. Half an hour experienced people interview first will be on resume. If he is not satisfied with the questions that he is giving on resume, then he will go into the concept. That means just to confirm that whether he know the concept perfectly or not first. Right? Majority experienced people interview first level, always resume. What he mentioned in resume, that only I will ask. That means he said that my role is in business layer. Okay. Then what APIs you use? What are the API methods you use? He will ask questions on that. Database, then he will ask questions on database. So the point is, you are a developer and you are responsible for building application. For example, suppose you say, so my role was in database layer. Then what are the responsibilities you have to tell? Responsibility means creating tables, configuring relationships, right? Writing queries for different conditions. These are my responsibilities. But by mistake, you mentioned in your resume, like my role is in database tier. My role is in database tier. And you said that I created database, I created tables. That is wrong. Why? Because database tier responsibilities, maintaining the database, like backup of database, recovery of database, high availability of database, performance tuning, all this called DBA. We call it as database administration. That is not your job. Tier job is different. Layer job is different. Developer's job is layers. You are a developer, so you are involved in building application. So your role will be in either UI layer or business layer or in database. So that is how a professional resume is mentioned. Professional resume is mentioned. These are very huge concepts. I mean, so many things you will see. Actually, I worked for HP for more than 7 years, Hewlett Packard, and for that I was in the team of recruiting. Means my responsibility is to recruit developers for HP in India. and we need to even scrutinize people from US and other countries, right? In my experience, I have taken interview for a project lead who have more than 19 years of experience. And when we got the resume of his, it was a booklet. It was a booklet with more than 40-50 pages. And overnight we have to read his resume, and next day we should call him for interview. And we can't ask nonsense to him because we badly need him. Only the point we need to check, is it genuine? That means we conduct interview not to reject people. We conduct interview to recruit people. That is the first mindset of interviewer. Don't think that they are conducting interviews and rejecting you, because why they waste time? They genuinely need a person, then they will ask the questions that satisfy them that they can take him. That means every interviewer first priority is to take you. But if you are not having skill sets, then how? That means interviewer's first priority is not rejecting the candidate. His first priority to take as much as possible, know about him and take him. Because if he's good, take him. Why to interview others? Time waste. That is the first priority. So nobody will interview you for rejecting you. Always his mindset will be to take you. That means he don't want to waste time. 10 days, 15 days wasted. Nobody is coming, right? So he cannot simply go on rejecting people. His main concept, get him, right? That is the reason. So your resume speaks majority of things, and 80% chances will be there for getting calls if your resume is good. That means calls will not come from companies just because you fail in your resumes. That is where people fail, because companies have a lot of requirements. See, UI developer, web designing, web development is always flourish, because there is no stop in internet and web, right? That means always we need people. But only the point, these are all conditions you need to know. So you are going to build an application. This application going to be built in 3 layers. In the UI layer, what we are going to use. In the database layer, what we are going to use. So our project have database layer. In database layer, we are going to use what? MongoDB. And in the business layer, we are going to use Node.js and Express.js. And in the presentation layer, we are going to use HTML, CSS, Bootstrap. So we can use React and React related we will use Redux. We will use Redux also in the same thing. Then you will get a clarity on that. So we will use React, Redux, and what else? We will use React Material UI. We will use React Material User Interface. These are enough for building an application. In React, so many things we will use. Axios, third parties, no need to define them. We will use Formic. In React, so many third parties we will use. So that means we will use React libraries. Like we will use Formic. So we will use like Axios. We will use like Yup for validations and all, right? We will also use React cookies library. Cookies library to maintain the user's information from sign in to sign out. From sign in to sign out, if you want to maintain his information, then it is managed by using cookies. So we will use that cookies concept. So many other things internally will be involved. I am not mentioning them, right? So, but this is the layers. These are the layers. That means now developers' responsibility is working in these layers, right? So that's what people say as full stack developer, UI developer, front end, back end developers. These days, all are full stack developers required. Why? Because companies are asking for full stack, mean stack, MERN stack. MERN stack means people are good in MongoDB, Node.js, Express, and React. Mean stack means Angular in the front end. Back end will be same, right? We have specialized developers like that. That means you search here in this Naukri, you can see, you will find jobs on, for example, we see. So you will find the jobs on this. Yeah, you see, suppose MERN stack. MERN stack developer, you can see so many opportunities will be there for this. This is MERN stack developer. These are MERN stack developers requirements. So many companies need these MERN stack developer. And you have good packages for them. Depends on different experience levels, right? So these people are nothing but they can handle all. They can handle all. So that means front end, back end, and all depends on different projects. These days, this is very much required. 5 to 10 years experience. Fresher means 3-4 lakhs starting package will be there for freshers. Minimum these days, right? Actually, one of your previous batches, one person got UI developer fresher with 7 lakh package, right? So on React, fresher. Depends, that depends on the company and his skill sets, right? So we are going to build an application with this. We are going to build an application with this. Let's see how. So first, what we have to do, I'm not going in depth teaching of MongoDB, Node.js, because they are huge things. But what is enough for our project, I will show, and that is enough for you to practice also. Because MongoDB is non-SQL. No SQL or non-SQL, you don't need any SQL queries. Just JavaScript like commands, inserting, updating, deleting, simple methods will be there. And actually you have graphical interface. Without learning much commands, you can easily manage, right? But developers require commands to interact with the database. I will show you. So first, what we have to do for our project, because our project is this video tutorials project, for this project to maintain data for admin, to maintain data for users and videos, we need to create one database. So what you do is here, first I will give you setup MongoDB on your PC. For that first step, you have to download and install MongoDB community server. You download and install MongoDB community server on your PC. So it will install. So MongoDB server. It will install MongoDB server and MongoDB Compass. Two things it will install. Actually, this server is the location. It is the location where data is stored. And Compass is the client from where we communicate. This is the client tool from where we communicate, right? So every database have two things, server and client. Even Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, every database in the world, when you install, they will get installed with two things you need to. One is server, another client. Through client, we connect to server and we create database, manage database on server, right? This is the client tool. This is the client tool. You need to set up this. So what we will do here, I will give you the link. You can download this. This is MongoDB community server official. This is MongoDB community official link. Directly, this is the community server. So this is the community server. You can download and install this community server. If you install this MongoDB community server, after installing, it's a simple setup, right? You can install this. It will give you these two things. First, what you have to do is start MongoDB server. We have to start the MongoDB server. Usually, it may start automatically after installing, but in some PCs, because so many other servers may be running, it may disable that. Then it means MongoDB is installed, but the server is not running. Then you cannot use it. So make sure that it is running. That you can do from services. So you have to open services.msc and here MongoDB, and MongoDB you have to start server. You will find MongoDB server, you have to start. That means in your computer you will find services.msc, that is services app, and you can open the services app, and in the MongoDB services, you will find here lot of are there. In this you will find MongoDB server is present and its current state is running, so no problem. Sometimes it will not be running. Then what you have to do is you need to right click and say start. Right, already it is started, but accidentally even you start, sometimes when you restart your machine, next time it may stop. So check once it is started or not, right? After that, once it is started, now open MongoDB Compass. Compass is nothing but it is an GUI tool, graphical user interface tool. This is a GUI tool used to communicate with database, creating database, managing database on server. Everything is done by using this GUI tool. Actually, it will provide two environments, GUI and CLI, command line interface also it will give. Actually, you see here, let's go to programs. You will find MongoDB Compass installed. This is MongoDB Compass. So this is a GUI tool. So without knowing much database related commands, you can simply create database, you can maintain data, and you can easily handle it. Now this is the Compass tool. Here first what we need to do is we need to connect with server. This is a client tool. We have to connect with server. How to connect with server is open this Compass and next connect to server using the connection string. And connection string for MongoDB is MongoDB:/127.001.27017. This is standard on every computer. So, and this is the connection string you need in any technology in the backend to communicate with database. If you want to communicate with MongoDB, this is the connection string you need. From Java, you can connect with MongoDB. From .NET, you can connect with MongoDB. From PHP, you can connect. From Node.js, you can connect. But the connection string is this. Actually, every database requires a connection string to communicate with the database. So the backend technologies need a connection string to establish connection with the database. Actually, you have websites like this, connectionstrings.com. This is a very popular website. And this will provide all the databases in the world. You can see so many databases. This is the list of all databases. Database means only Oracle, MySQL. These are not, right? There are hundreds. And your company may use anything. Depends on requirement. Some projects use MS Excel as database. Majority you see mobile service providers, mobile people's all data is Excel data. A majority, they use a data called CSV, comma separated files. Right? Usually these, if you open anything, it will show you the connection strings for that. So to connect with any database, you need connection string. For MongoDB, this is the connection string. So what you have to do, so go here and you have to type like this. This is the URL it is asking, and URL is mongodb:/127.001.27017. And you click on connect, then it is going to connect with the database. Now this is the database. Actually, left side you can see so many databases are present here. Generally, MongoDB is completely different from SQL based databases. Here we have to use commands, but that is for people who are learning MongoDB. Visually, you can design everything. We can visually design everything. That's what we will do. Why? Because again, learning, teaching MongoDB is not the point here, right? Our concept is not that. So I will just show you visually how to manage the data for our project, right? For that, actually, once you connected, now you need to know the MongoDB terminology. You need to be familiar with the MongoDB terminology, then only you can work with it. What are the MongoDB terms actually? It is different from other databases. For example, like Oracle or MySQL, some databases, and in MongoDB. Generally, in Oracle, MySQL like databases, data is kept in a database. Data is kept in a database. That means usually data is maintained in a database. And MongoDB also same, it will have database. That means in Oracle, MySQL, data is kept in a database. So for every project, you can maintain one database. And MongoDB also database. But in Oracle, MySQL, they use tables. They use tables. Tables are used for storing data. And in MongoDB, there is no table. In MongoDB, we call as collection. In MongoDB, it is called as collection. So MongoDB don't have tables. MongoDB have collection. Why? Because MongoDB is non-SQL. It is structureless. It is document-based database system actually. So it is a collection. Collection means it is schemaless, structureless. Table is structured, but collection is structureless. That is one advantage here, right? Actually, what is schema based structureless is nothing but, suppose you are having a register user. User have to register. If user have to register, for registration, we have 10 fields. For registration, we given 10 fields. In the 10 fields, 5 are mandatory. Other 5 are optional. Then for how many fields I need to prepare database table? I need to prepare for all 10 fields. Why? Because we are not sure which one, how many will fill. That means first user. So the question is it possible like first user fills 5 fields, then one row is created for 5. Another user fills 8 fields, another row is created for 8. And another user filled all 10 fields, you created 10 fields. Is it possible to have a table like that? Not possible. It's not possible. In Oracle or MySQL, it's not possible. Then how come, what will happen if user fills only 5? Other fields are empty. You are using other fields in querying. Why? That is heavy on application. But MongoDB can maintain data like this. It is structureless, schemaless. Actually, MongoDB supports a mechanism called ORM, Object Relational Mapper, or mapping. People call as mapper or mapping. Object Relational Mapper. Object Relational Mapping is nothing but it is a business oriented logic. That means what client has mentioned, according to that data is created. That's good. That means it is not data first. It is code first. You write the code, you define the details, according to that database will be created. That's great. That means all these days our developers, how they are doing, they are writing for a database. Now in the modern web designing, we are not writing for database, we are writing for business. So database is created for that business. That's good. That means, do you know MongoDB have an ability like you mention what you want from client side, that is created in the database. You can create a table, you can create data, you can put data into the table. These days, all technologies are following this mechanism. They call this as ORM, Object Relational Mapping. And Oracle, MySQL, SQL Server, they also support. But they are all structured data. But this is structureless because it is completely JavaScript based. It is completely JavaScript based. Actually, you know, in JavaScript based means I will show you simply here. Suppose just roughly I am taking some project. Actually, you know, suppose I am writing here some script. So I am defining some script here. I hope you have observed that the complete JavaScript is same. Where I'm creating products, products is an array. In that one product is having name, another product is having price. Like this we define. And we have another product, it is having name and it is having price and it is having rating. So it is having rating, it is having category electronics. We can have like this. Is it possible to have data like this? Of course. We can have data like this. Suppose, you know, I give an ID as 1. I give a name as suppose shoes. And I give an cost as suppose 5,000. This is also okay, valid. This is completely structureless. But dealing with this structureless data is difficult. But it is valid in JavaScript. Suppose, how do I access the cost of shoes? Just products of 3 dot cost. What is there in that? This is valid. Completely structureless. This is what MongoDB also can do. right? That means MongoDB can maintain its data in this way. That means every record works like a table, So there are so many features about that, but here we don't have tables, we have collection. And usually collection is nothing but it is an array. It is an JavaScript array. Collection is a JavaScript array. Its data is in JSON format only. The data will be in JSON format. So in a table where data is stored, in a table data is stored in row. We call it as what? Record. And here we call it as document. That means every object in a collection is considered as an document. That means currently you can see in this collection, what is it? Yeah. You see in this collection, we have three documents. One document TV, another document mobile, another document shoes. And every document is independent. Even if it is a collection, it is independent. That means destructuring technique where say TV, so mobile and shoe is equal to products. And I want to print document.write. I want to print so shoe. So here I am just using shoe.cost. Like this we are defined. Of course, it can print those details. Whatever details you defined, it will print. Right? It is completely structureless, but you can easily handle them. This is documents. Every row is considered as a document. MongoDB deals like that. So you have database. But in MongoDB, the tables are called as collections. In the collection, every row or record is considered as a document. And usually we are having fields. Fields are nothing but column headings. Here also you have fields. Fields are fields. That means the columns are called fields. That means what keys you are having. Name, ID, price, all these are fields. Usually database have joins. Here we call them as embedded documents. That means you can combine data coming from multiple tables and display one. You can create views. We can create joins. Those are called as embedded documents. That means embedded documents are nothing but collecting data from 2-3 collections and combining in one place. Right? That is joins, or you call them as embedded documents here. So this is basically MongoDB terminology. So now what we have to do now, according to our project, we have to first create one database. And in that we need to create collections. Collections related to three things: user related one collection, admin related another collection, and videos related one collection, and categories, because we will maintain separate categories also, right? So that means now what to do? Go to the database and click here, new database. This is plus button. You click new database and database name. Database name, actually in every database you can work through commands, but if you are learning separately database, so that's okay. But as of now, visually we will do that. That's enough, right? So database name, to work with commands, do you know there is a shell here? This is actually terminal. Here we can use the commands just like SQL queries, right? Suppose I say show DBS, it will show the databases. So everything you can manage through commands here. But that is not required for us as of now, because we are not learning MongoDB. So then we will simply create with this visual interface enough. So database name, let's say this is a ReactDB, some database. We will give some ReactDB, anything. Okay, collection. In this, what is the first collection you want? So I want one collection called users. Users is one collection. In that we will keep all the users information. Okay. That is users collection. You see React DB is created, and in that one collection is there users. Like that we want another collection by name admin, create collection. I want another collection by name. So by name videos. Okay, create collection. I want another collection by name categories. So these are all the collections we are having. So that means we have admin, we have categories, we have users, and we have videos. So this is a simple process actually. That means you see now what we have to do. Next step is, so after doing that, so create a new database. Database is some React DB. Then here we will add collections. Add collections is, we have users, we have admin, we have videos, and we have categories. Like this, we have collection. Now, how to maintain data inside them? Maintaining data inside them, just JavaScript object notation, JSON. All JavaScript data types will work here. String, number, array, object, everything. All JavaScript related features will work here. That means all JavaScript data types will work here. For example, see, I want to store one admin related details. Later in the front end, we will create forms for them. That means for users, one form. So he will register with his details that will come and store in this users collection. That means in React front end, we will create a form. From there, user will post, that will come and store here. By default, we will maintain one, and others we will add through our front end. For admin, how to add? Click on that admin, and you can see there is add data. You just click on add data and insert document. And you see every document is a JSON type. It is a JSON type. That means just what you have to do, remove. JSON means, every key must be string type, mandatory. So here I am defining user ID. Admin will have a user ID. User ID is a string type. Temporarily, I will give some John admin something. And this needs username, and we will say some John. He needs some password. Password we will keep as John@123. And you need some email, and we will give some John@ gmail.com. These details are enough. That means for one user, we are maintaining like this. If you want to add multiple, then you have to use array of objects, just like array of objects. If you want, you can upload a JSON file also. In that JSON file, already data is present. You can just upload it. It will provide that facility. Now click on insert. One document is inserted. And MongoDB can create a unique ID for every record that you added. Right? But however, user ID is our unique reference. Right? Now, this is the details of admin. But if more people want to register as admin, we will give a form. He will fill up the form, and from the form, he will submit. Those details we will store here. Right? So this is one important thing. So how we can manage. Like this, now we need to add all the data, categories, users, videos, all the data we need to add. And that data, we must able to communicate with the backend technology. Once data is ready, we have to communicate with this data by using which technology? Backend, Node.js, and Express. So we will write a business logic. Through that business logic, we will communicate with the database. And that means we will learn how to create an API. Just like Fake Store API, NASA API, we will create our own APIs which will communicate with this database. For our project, what APIs are required, we will do. That we'll see in next session, right? First, you try up to this, installing, setting up database and everything, creating data roughly. Now to communicate with the database, we will learn server-side logic. That we will see in next session. Monday we'll do that, right? So Monday we can able to create APIs. Then we will work on front-end design. There you will see all our React concept coming there. Okay, right? Monday will continue.